Hey, 49ers faithful. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates on our beloved San Francisco 49ers. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any breaking news or exciting updates about the Niners. From the moment the news broke that Justin Jefferson had officially signed with the San Francisco 49ers, the city seemed to pulse with a new kind of energy, one that you could almost feel in the streets. Fans, starved for the kind of electrifying talent that Jefferson brings, flooded social media with clips of themselves celebrating, speculation about how he would fit into Kyle Shanahan's offensive system, and even memes imagining defenses trembling at the mere mention of his name. There was this palpable sense that something huge had just landed in the Bay Area, and it wasn't just another player. It was a player capable of shifting the entire dynamic of the team, a game-changer whose presence alone could alter opponent strategies before a snap is even taken. Street vendors outside Levi's Stadium reported an unusual spike in demand for Jefferson jerseys within hours of the announcement, and local sports bars were already planning watch parties as if the season had already begun. The excitement wasn't contained in the obvious places either. Neighborhood parks saw groups tossing footballs around, each player pretending to be Jefferson, and even local radio hosts couldn't stop running segments speculating on what his first touchdown in red and gold might look like. There's this almost cinematic quality to it, like the city itself had been waiting for this precise moment, and now the narrative was fully in motion. The rumor mill, as always, kicked into overdrive immediately after Jefferson's signing, with whispers of potential record-breaking contracts, future Hall of Fame conversations, and even locker room dynamics. Sources close to the team hinted that his arrival could spark other big moves, maybe in the draft or free agency, though nothing was confirmed, leaving fans to debate feverishly online about who might be next. Analysts on podcasts speculated that Jefferson could completely redefine the 49ers' passing attack, with Shanahan potentially designing plays specifically around his speed, agility, and uncanny ability to create separation in tight coverage. Even casual fans seemed drawn into the conversation, discussing how Jefferson might affect the NFC landscape, imagining him catching deep passes against elite cornerbacks and turning potential losses into highlight reel victories. The energy was infectious. It wasn't just about football. It was about possibility, about imagining a future where the 49ers suddenly felt unstoppable. And then there were the haters, of course, those who whispered that perhaps the hype was overblown, that maybe Jefferson wouldn't mesh with the team as seamlessly as fans hoped. Yet, even their skepticism seemed to fuel the excitement, creating this bubbling storm of anticipation that felt larger than any preseason predictions could contain. The buzz wasn't just online. You could hear in the coffee shops, the grocery stores, even in casual conversations at bus stops, as though everyone had been invited into a secret, exhilarating club that only the most passionate fans could truly understand. The arrival of Jefferson didn't just create a sports story. It became a cultural moment. Social media exploded with graphics, memes, and imagined highlights. Fans creating timelines of his best plays and predicting which defenses would suffer the most when Jefferson was on the field. Local influencers jumped on the trend, posting videos of themselves wearing red and gold with Jefferson jerseys, while sports commentators debated his potential chemistry with Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, imagining a receiving core that could dominate any opponent. There was even chatter about the ripple effect on ticket sales, season ticket renewals, and merchandise, with local stores reporting unprecedented pre-orders before the season even started. For casual observers, it might have seemed like overexcitement, but for those who had followed Jefferson's meteoric rise, the idea of him in a 49ers uniform was like watching history in motion. The speculation wasn't limited to football strategy. It extended to everything from stadium energy to city pride, with many fans joking that traffic near Levi's Stadium would increase just because people wanted to catch a glimpse of him. Jefferson's signing had transcended the usual off-season chatter. It became the kind of narrative that sports movies are based on, full of potential, promise, and the thrill of the unknown. The streets seemed to mirror the digital world. buzzing with anticipation as though everyone was waiting for the first whistle to signal a new era. Even within the team, sources hinted at a mix of excitement and curiosity, a sense that the locker room dynamic might shift in subtle but significant ways. Veteran players were reportedly discussing how Jefferson's arrival could open up opportunities for everyone, creating mismatches that the coaching staff could exploit with creative play calling. Rumors circulated about the mentoring role he might assume for younger receivers, and how his professionalism and work ethic could elevate practice sessions to new levels of intensity. Coaches, according to unofficial reports, were already sketching plays that leveraged Jefferson's speed and agility, imagining scenarios where he could dominate single coverage or exploit defensive breakdowns in ways no other player on the roster could. The intrigue wasn't limited to the field. It extended to media obligations, fan interactions, and community events, with local news outlets already clamoring for interviews and appearances. Jefferson's presence seemed to promise a shift not only in strategy, but in the very culture of the team, a narrative that fans were eager to follow, dissect, and celebrate as it unfolded week by week. One of the more fascinating aspects of the buzz was how it seemed to unite the city in a rare, almost tribal way. Fans of varying allegiances, even those who typically reserve their loyalty for other teams, were engaging in debates about Jefferson's potential impact, analyzing highlight reels, and projecting stats as though the season were already underway. Cafes, gyms, and public squares became informal discussion hubs, where the conversation was dominated not by local politics or weather, but by the excitement surrounding a single player and his potential to transform an entire franchise. Social media amplified this phenomenon exponentially, creating threads that stretched into the thousands of comments, each user theorizing about touchdowns, yardage, and the unforgettable moments they hoped to witness. The communal energy was undeniable. The city felt alive in a way that suggested Jefferson's signing was more than just a sports transaction. It was a catalyst for shared hope, optimism, and the kind of dreamlike anticipation that only the arrival of a superstar can inspire. And yet, the rumors persisted, growing richer and more elaborate with each passing day. Speculation about future contract extensions, potential playoff runs, and even the psychological effect Jefferson might have on opposing teams fueled endless online debates. Insider sources, often unnamed but tantalizingly credible, hinted at behind-the-scenes meetings, strategy sessions, and off-the-field negotiations, leaving fans on edge, hungry for confirmation but savoring the suspense. The narrative around Jefferson had taken on a life of its own, evolving faster than any conventional news cycle could keep up with, feeding a sense of excitement and curiosity that transcended traditional fan enthusiasm. It wasn't just about touchdowns or yardage. It was about witnessing a story unfold in real time, one filled with uncertainty, potential, and the unmistakable thrill of watching greatness arrive in a city ready to embrace it. As the city settled into this new reality, the buzz surrounding Jefferson began to infiltrate everyday life, transforming mundane routines into subtle celebrations of his arrival. Morning commuters could be seen wearing jerseys and caps, debating his first-game impact while sipping coffee, while sports bars prepared to host viewing parties that promised to become legendary by the time he touched the field. Even casual pedestrians appeared caught up in the excitement, stopping to discuss highlights, anticipate matchups, and speculate on how Jefferson's chemistry with his new teammates would develop. The atmosphere wasn't just energetic, it was anticipatory, almost electric, as though San Francisco collectively recognized that the presence of a talent like Jefferson had the power to rewrite expectations for the entire season. Fans were creating narratives in their minds about key games, imagining last-minute catches that would define playoff runs, and debating endlessly whether Jefferson could carry the team to heights previously unattainable. The city had transformed into a living, breathing hub of speculation, rumor, and shared fantasy, with each conversation contributing to the ever-expanding mythology surrounding this new chapter of 49ers football. Behind closed doors, whispers of strategic implications grew louder. Coaches were reportedly tweaking playbooks, to maximize Jefferson's explosive potential, envisioning him running routes that could exploit every weakness in opposing defenses. Analysts speculated that his signing could attract other top-tier talent, both in the draft and through future free agent acquisitions, hinting at a domino effect that could reshape the entire NFC landscape. Fans speculated endlessly about potential duos and trios, imagining combinations of Jefferson with McCaffrey, Samuel, or even emerging rookies, constructing fantasy football dreams in real time. Some reports suggested that Jefferson's work ethic and commitment could influence not only the offense but the defense, encouraging an overall culture of excellence within the organization. Each rumor added a layer to the narrative, a tantalizing possibility that kept discussions alive late into the night, ensuring that anticipation didn't wane even in the absence of actual games. Media coverage mirrored the frenzy, with sports shows, podcasts, and social media channels dedicating extensive airtime to dissecting every facet of Jefferson's signing. Clips of past plays circulated endlessly, each highlight analyzed for insight into how he might adapt to Kyle Shanahan's system. Commentators debated everything from his route-running techniques to his ability to make defenders miss in open space, crafting a portrait of a player who could dominate in ways few could anticipate. Even off-field speculation became newsworthy, with stories about potential endorsements, charity events, and community involvement generating interest alongside discussions of on-field performance. The narrative had become multidimensional, encompassing athletic prowess, personal character, and the cultural impact of a superstar entering a city eager to celebrate him. Jefferson's presence wasn't just a roster update. It was a catalyst for a flood of content, conversation, and community engagement that transformed the sports world into a continuous, interactive spectacle. Fans themselves became participants in the story, producing content that blurred the line between amateur commentary and professional analysis. TikTok videos reenacting iconic plays, Instagram reels showcasing mock highlights, and Twitter threads predicting weekly stats created a participatory ecosystem where everyone felt they had a stake in Jefferson's success. This engagement further fueled rumors, as fan-made projections and theories circulated widely, sometimes influencing mainstream coverage. The excitement was contagious. Even those previously indifferent to the 49ers found themselves drawn into discussions about matchups, strategy, and Jefferson's potential to redefine expectations. The city's collective imagination seemed to run wild, constructing countless what-if scenarios that added suspense and drama to every conversation. It was as if Jefferson's arrival had transformed San Francisco into a giant, living sports forum, with every street corner, coffee shop, and living room contributing to the ongoing narrative. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Within the team, speculation about locker room dynamics continued, with sources hinting at a palpable shift in morale and focus. Jefferson's presence reportedly inspired younger players, elevated competition in practice, and prompted strategic discussions that went beyond typical game preparation. Coaches were allegedly mapping out intricate plays designed to exploit Jefferson's speed and field awareness, while teammates speculated about the chemistry that could develop over time. Even veteran players were reportedly energized by his work ethic, adopting training habits designed to match his intensity and dedication. The rumor mill suggested that these behind-the-scenes changes could yield immediate on-field results, making every preseason practice feel like a potential preview of record-breaking performances. The excitement wasn't just about individual achievement. It was about the potential transformation of the entire team culture, a narrative that fans eagerly consumed and debated as though they were insiders themselves. Outside Levi's Stadium, the cultural impact of Jefferson's arrival was becoming increasingly visible. Local businesses reported higher foot traffic, fans flocked to sports bars and merchandise stores, and the city seemed to vibrate with a new energy. Even casual observers began to follow the story, influenced by the viral spread of highlights and speculation, making Jefferson's signing feel like a citywide event. The narrative extended beyond football, touching on community pride, social media trends, and a shared sense of anticipation that transcended traditional fandom. It was no longer just a sports story. It had become a phenomenon, a collective experience that united San Francisco in excitement, debate, and the sheer thrill of imagining what the season could hold. As rumors and speculation continued to swirl, one thing became clear. Justin Jefferson had arrived in San Francisco not merely as a player, but as a symbol of possibility, potential, and the transformative power of elite talent. Every conversation, tweet, and social media post added layers to the story, constructing a narrative that combined anticipation, hope, and speculation into a thrilling mosaic of excitement. Fans eagerly awaited the first snap, imagining the plays, the touchdowns, and the moments that could define not just a season, but a new era for the 49ers. Jefferson's signing had become more than news. It had become a shared experience, a living rumor that pulsed through the city, promising unforgettable moments and the electric thrill of witnessing greatness in motion. The anticipation was tangible, almost palpable, as San Francisco braced for a season that felt, in every conversation and every whispered rumor, destined for something extraordinary. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.